Hello once again, our most developed student. My name is Confident and welcome to our 24-minute lesson. This is the ultimate guide in maths, science, career guidance, as well as a sneak peek into my personal experiences. This is a channel designed with you in mind. Let us dive into today's lesson. In this lesson, we are looking at the IUPAC naming of alcohols, and in the previous part, we looked at haloalkanes or alkyl halides, and it was a very important lesson that I will encourage you. Ensure that you grab hold of that lesson, because from there, it will be easier also for you to understand the IUPAC naming of alcohols. Now, if we come back to the functional group of alcohols, remember with alcohols, what we said is you are having your C, and then the important is the OH. You see that? So sometimes they write it as ROH, where R is the alkyl group, right? But the key part, the functional part, is the OH group. It belongs to what? To alcohols. Remember, we start with oxygen and hydrogen. The sequence is very important. Again, oxygen starts, then hydrogen. This sequence is important. You remember, or you come back when you look at aldehydes, where it's HO and the sequence is now changed. So be careful, it's OH. Now, when we are looking at these, just like we did previously, as I said, this follows from the previous lesson. But now, how do you come about with a primary alcohol? For primary alcohol, I will say it comes from saying R, I put a C, and then I put an H, I put an H, and then OH. That becomes what is called a primary alcohol. Now let's give some examples. R can be this, C, like this, H, 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 C, H, H, and then C, O, H, and then H and H. So the R part, that's what I was trying to say. It can be any alkyl group. Now look at this. Look at this. This is 1 to 3. So if 3 means propane, so it's propane. Remember, propane. So now when you are talking about alcohol, you knock off the E, it becomes propanol. Right. This is propanol because it's at the end. You can say 1 propanol or propane 1 ol. It doesn't change anything. Sometimes some will say, since the OH group is in carbon number 1 is propane 1 ol, is fine. But even writing it as propanol is still 100% correct. What we call this one, the primary, the first degree alcohol. Are you with me? Look at the secondary alcohol so that you can picture this while I'm drawing with the primary. Look at the secondary. The secondary alcohol, you will have R, you have got C, then you have got another R. You see, I say R with a hyphen because it's different. You have got H, you have got O, you have got H. Let me come up with an example. You can have C here, like this, and then you can have C here, like that, and then I can have that, and then I can have in here C. I'll give you the condensed structure of this, H, and then OH. If I can give you the condensed structure of this one, it will be like this: CH3, CH2, and then C, CH3, and then it's CHOH. Are you seeing that? Did I do this right? Let me check. No, I didn't do this right. Look at this. I said it's got that, it's got that. Yes, that's correct. That's correct. So what it means, I just want to show you what it means. When I'm to write it the proper way, I think I didn't put it well in a sense so that it makes sense. Let me knock it off like this. Take it out here. Take it out here. Put the R like this, and then the OH like that. You see that? Then same thing, I can come here to show you that this is actually here, C, it's like this, H, H, and then the O, H is here. You see that? Now it's in the center, surrounded by the R, which becomes this one, and by the other R, which becomes this one. It's more like that. So the OH group then becomes surrounded by the two alkyl, the R and the R hyphen. You see that? That makes it a what? A second degree alcohol. Are you with me? Now let's come to the, okay, what name will you give this one? Maybe you're asking yourself, what is the name of this structure? Now if I'm to name the structure, it will be called, for example, remember OH is the primary one, that is the functional group. So I start from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 2. It's okay, not 2, but I know that in couple number 2, that's where there is the OH group. Now 4 is butane, which is butanol. Is butanol. But now remember, in couple number 2 here, 2 ol. I say butane 2ol, butanol, butane 2ol. Why? Because the OH is in couple number 2. Now let's look at from secondary, let's look at the tertiary. I'll try to make this visible. With the tertiary, you do the same thing. What do you have? You have got the C here. Here I've got the R. Here I've got the R1. Here I've got the R2. And here I've got the OH. Are you seeing that? So can you come up with an example? Of course, yes. What is it? Let's start with I can make it a CH2, a CH3, CH2. I'll do the condensed one for now, and then I can have a COH. See the alcohol part there. Here I can have a CH3 group, and then here I can have a CH2 CH3 group, like that. So look at it. I've got my R here. I've got another R here. Call it R2. I've got my R1 here. That's it. So what will you call this name of the alcohol? Now remember, you can draw the structure. It's not a complicated thing to draw the structure there, where it's a matter of you doing that, you do that, you do that. It's not complicated. You do that, and then here you do that. You fill up with the hydrogens. Okay. So what's the name of here? You look at it. In couple number 1, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even here at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it doesn't matter whether it's left to right, because all of them, they're appearing in couple number 3. So now in couple number 3, I've got what? This is 5 is pentane, which is pentanol. So in couple number 3, I've got a methyl, and then after that it's pentane. Remember, it's pentanol, pentane, penta. It's pentanol, then hyphen 3 ol, pentanol. So you write pentanol, and then after that, remember that in couple number 3, that's where you have got the pentanol, the OH group there. It's in couple number 3. So look at the flow of things. When you are looking at this is called the third degree alcohol, tertiary. So the third degree, you have got 3 R's, 1, 2, 3 alkyl groups. In the secondary, you've got 2 of them surrounding the carbon which is attached to the OH group, and then in the primary, you've got 1 R which is now following attached to the carbon with the OH group. So this is the carbon with the OH group. So the carbon, this is the carbon. Look at this. The carbon with the OH group has got 1 in here. The carbon with the OH group has got 1, 2. That's why it's 2 degree secondary. And the carbon with the OH group has got 1, 2, and 3 alkyl halides in that case. All right. So now let's look at a few examples of naming these. Here, what does it say? It says here, given the organic compound butane 1ol, draw the structure of not if butane 1ol, draw the structure of butane 1-ol. So how will you draw the structure? Butane is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because it's butane 1-ol, you can put it here at the end, still the same, or you can put it here. Doesn't matter. So usually, since we always do things from left to right, it's better to put it at the end there. This is the structure of butane 1-ol. Are you with me? Making sense? Butane 1-ol. Actually, it's butanol. They're just making it butane 1-ol out of relevance, but it's butanol. Now, says draw all the possible isomers of butane 1-ol and state their IUPAC names and the type of the isomer. Now, there is the important one. Draw all the possible isomers. So now, it's a very important question now, this one. Let's look at this. The possible isomers. I'm going to try to make it small now. The first one is for me to move this guy. Remember, primary, secondary, tertiary. This is a primary, 1 degree. This is primary alcohol. This, it's 1 degree alcohol, primary. When I say 1 degree, remember it means primary. But you don't say 1 degree, you say primary at your level. They want you to call it primary. Now, I can then take this guy and move it in one of the carbons. It doesn't matter. Let's start with the first carbon in here. You see what is going to happen? It will convert it from primary to what? To a secondary alcohol. Let's do that. It will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, it's butane. Then I put it here. OH. See? And then H, H, H. This already has made it into a what? Into a secondary alcohol. So now I'll call this 2 degree. This one. So what to be the name of this guy now? Let me write it down because I need to draw some in the side. The name of this guy is 2, because it's carbon number 1, carbon number 2 is 2-butanol. They accept this part, but it's not the right way. So you must do it the right way. It's butane 2-ol, butanol. You write butanol and then remove the center and put 2-ol. So it's butanol. But you know that in here I need to stretch this guy, pull it aside, do that, and then put a 2. That's how you write this thing. But unfortunately you can't be doing the way I'm doing it because this is more of an app. Now look at this. 2-butanol. Now you'll be also arguing to say, okay, I can move it here instead of jumping 1 and jumping 2. I can put it now from here. I can put it in 3. Let me show you what it will become. I'll make it red. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the OH is here, right? Just pay attention now. Pay attention. How students get tricked and are confused with this. It's more like I'll say you get fooled. So now someone asks now, says question 1, 2, 3, 4. Now they says this one is butane 3-ol. It's 3-butanol. Butane 3-ol. Guess what? You are wrong. This is not butane 3-ol. Remember, in organic chemistry, you take the least numbering. So you're supposed to now move this direction, numbering 1, 2, 3, 4. What's the name? In carbon number 2, there is the OH group. This is still butane 2-ol. So guess what? They tricked you. These molecules are the same. Just that this one we're reading it from left to right. This one I'll read it from right to left. So be careful of such. Okay. I hope you're able to pick that up. That was a bonus for you to show you. Now, what's the next one? Remember, when you're doing these, what you're doing is you're moving through primary, secondary, tertiary. So what you're supposed to do, you say, okay, RCOH. Here, you're like, okay, this one was more like RCR2, and then H and OH. You see, this one. Now, the other one now that I've been looking for, with this 4, it will be a matter of saying, is there a way of doing an RCR hyphen R2 and OH? We can try it. Let's try it. But don't forget, isomers, you maintain the number of carbons the number of hydrogens, and everything must be the same. Same molecular formula, different structure. So let me use this. Look, so there are 4. So I can have a CH3 here. That's already 1 carbon, 2 carbon, 3 carbon, there. 4 carbon. Yes, there is a tertiary alcohol coming in, CH3 and OH. There is a structure. Don't forget, let's come with the molecular formula. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the molecular formula here is C4, hydrogen 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. H9 and then OH. Okay, but I can say H9. I can come here and say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. H10O. This is the molecular formula, the right way. But guess what? Even here on this structure, 3 hydrogens, 6, 9, 10, 11. Even here, I mean 10. It's C4 because this is carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, carbon 4. You see that? This is C4 and then H, count the hydrogens, 3, 6, 9, 10. Oh, so that's at 3 degrees. Now, let's draw the actual structure there because it's still part of it. So what you have got C, H, 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 and then I've got what? C, C, H, 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 and O, H, and C, H, there. Right. Now what is it? The longest chain, you can see, is this is the longest chain. So doesn't matter. I can come here and say 1, 2, 3. Even if I start from the top, 1, 2, 3. So what is the name here? The naming here is in carbon 2. There is a methyl group here. See this methyl. So it will be 2-methyl. Right? What else? 2-methyl what? 2-methyl, and the longest chain is now 3 instead of 4. You see, I cut the chain. It's 3 now. So it's 3 is 2-methyl, and then 3 means propanol, propane, and then in carbon number 2, that's where the ol, propane 2-ol, the OH is in carbon number 2. So 2-methyl propane 2-ol. Now this question said this. Number 1, draw all the possible isomers. So we have got three isomers. The first one here is the primary, the second one is the secondary, and this one is the tertiary. So be careful whenever they talk of isomers, think of primary, secondary, tertiary. Then it says, and state the IUPAC names. We have stated the names: butane 2-ol, butanol, and 3-methyl propane 2-ol. Then after that says, and the type of the isomer. Guess what? This butane 2-ol, what type of an isomer is this one? This is a positional isomer. Why? Because I'll tell you now. Positional isomer. You know why? The position of the functional group changed. What was the first one? It was in position 1. That's why they called it propane 1-ol. This one. They called it propane 1-ol. The OH was in position 1. What is the OH now? It's in position what? 2. It's still, it was butane 1-ol. So the name never changed, butane, but the first one is butane 1, the second one is butane 2, so it's called positional. Then you have got this one, which then becomes the chain isomer. Why? Look at this. What is the longest chain? In the first one is but, means 4, and then this one was the longest chain is prop, means 3. So the chain has shortened, including now a branch. Hence it becomes a chain isomer. Guys, these are very important things that you need to master. If you can go on with this knowledge, trust me, organic chemistry won't be a challenge for you. I will bring later some revision sessions that are there, but you need to be getting this foundation intact so that you can be able to follow. So guys, that was that. Let's look at a few more here before I end this lesson. Just a few more quick one now. I'm not going to take time. It says draw the structure of 3,6-dimethyl octane 4-ol. Octane is 4, so octane is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, so that I fit in well. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. In carbon number 4, that's where there is the OH, right? And then this is my numbering: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Use a pencil to do this so that you can erase easy. All right, octanes. And then what's the next one? It says 3. In carbon number 3, make it long. There is a methyl, C, H, 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 and in number 6, there is a C, H, 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 right? And then that's it, dimethyl. Then the rest you put what? Fill up with hydrogen, fill up the tables with hydrogen. Fill up the tables with what? With hydrogens, guys, Fill up the tables with hydrogen. Fill up the tables with hydrogens. Fill up with hydrogens. That's it. Then you've got it. Next one, you can start from this end, and then this OH then was going to be like here in this carbon 5. But here, you see, I was moving from this direction. All right. Next one, draw the structure of 2,2,5 trimethyl heptol. Hept is how many? Hept means heptane, 7. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We usually read from left to right, so that's why I maintain it like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But it's not a must. Then when I've done that, it says in carbon number 2, there is a what? A methyl, H, 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 and in carbon number 2 again, erase that, there is a methyl, C, H, H, and H. And in carbon number 5, see this list numbering. Number 5, also there is a methyl. Are you seeing that? And then from there, that's it. Sorry, the functional group. Oh, how can I forget the functional group? Functional group is in carbon number what? Heptane 4-ol. Carbon number 4. I'm forgetting the most important one. That's what makes it behave the way it behaves. OH. So sometimes you can put it like this, but you don't want it to interfere with the other hydrogens there. Then that's it. Then you put your hydrogens. If you leave out hydrogens, students, I found students, even in the final, when you're marking now their final exams, you find students leaving out these hydrogens. They penalize you for every hydrogen left out. So don't forget, check well, did I write everything proper with my hydrogens? Are they all in? Very important concept, guys. Very important concept. All right. So now we have come to the end of our lesson. I would like you again to join me in the next lesson. And you know what we're looking at? The IUPAC naming of aldehydes. Again, I cannot overemphasize, you need to follow up with these lessons. Guys, if you're watching this without subscribing, I'm going to skin you alive. Why are you not subscribing? Because you're benefiting from the channel, and the best thing to do is to subscribe. I just want to know that you guys are benefiting. It's very important for me as a feedback to see the numbers growing there, because when you're doing these lessons, I'm doing it for you. So why not subscribe? Because I can't tell how many of you are watching this, so I need to be given also feedback. I took my time, bring this to you at no cost to you. The best thing you can do is to reciprocate and subscribe. The best thing for you to reciprocate is to share with your friends so that they can also benefit. Don't be selfish, because we don't selfish in this channel. So subscribe and ensure that your friends and colleagues also benefit from this. We've come to the end of our lesson. Thank you.